Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah. Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. I'm proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
You gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
Nigga, you can take the but he wants you.
I'm saying it seems like a thing with his birthday party.
Puff, man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no.
Y'all, Terrence Howard is really here on a mission to take down Diddy. And honestly, it looks like he doesn't care who else gets caught in the crossfire. You know how a bunch of celebrities have been pretending like they don't even know Diddy ever since all this mess exploded. Yeah, well, Terrence just dropped some serious receipts, and let's just say a lot of them are about to get exposed. If what he's saying is even halfway true, Diddy's not just going down by himself, he's dragging a whole chunk of the industry with him. And the wild part? Terrence has been nonstop these past few weeks. No breaks, no slowing down. And honestly, we're here for it, because the tea he's serving, it's extra hot.
Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room.
Never calm down.
Man, calm down.
Diddy is in jail. You telling me to calm down? Puff is in jail, and you telling me to turn down? Nigga, all right, cool, whatever. Whatever he says, whatever you say, the party's in jail, nigga. And we all white still.
Turned down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
I like when you like this, Daddy. Daddy, I like when you just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's your birthday on Drink Champs.
You heard what he just said, right?
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
Like, no, but they did party. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, they let that one go? Like, I had to say something about it later, because I was like, oh, it was fair.
What does it feel like all these years, you being the only one calling this out?
That he was Diddy's boy toy.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Wait, so this is...
So Charlamagne said...
It's not true, but I told after he brought up this stuff with you, I said, you know what 50 gonna say when he meets you?
Oh, no, I don't know that was going on.
You know...
I can't wait to run into him again.
What you gonna say to him, Phil?
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know what 50 gonna say to you when he sees you. What? I heard Diddy touch the butt.
Yeah. Wait till I see him.
If you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. Because in the old world, men didn't hide behind anything. When they spoke against someone, they had to speak it with their whole being. And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye.
Now, if you're wondering which celebrities are shaking in their boots right now, trust me, they're probably wishing Terrence never touched a microphone, because the more he talks about their connections to Diddy, the messier it gets.
He says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. He says something fabulous and he goes, yo, no, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What are you talking about? And when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. Like, when you see Jadakiss.
Fully escaped it though, like your name, for example, was mentioned in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because you barely know
This is the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being a celebrity. Welcome to my world.
Puffy just gave me $1 million after I was just taking pictures with everywhere for over a year.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no
dope.
contract, no like that.
Just as a thank you.
Yeah, just on some love. So this true, this true inspiration. Me being with my brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, we here. We the neighborhood association now.
You better believe. You better believe it.
Yeah,
The board.
One of the first names he dropped? Cuba Gooding Jr. And honestly, nobody's shocked. See, in Lil Rod's lawsuit, Cuba's name came up a lot. Turns out, he wasn't just swinging by Diddy's parties for a quick photo op. Nope. According to Lil Rod, Cuba was living it up like he was a VIP every single time. And it gets even sketchier. TMZ reported that Jones, the guy suing Diddy, said Diddy introduced him to Cuba on Diddy's yacht. And right there, Cuba allegedly started getting real handsy, touching and groping Jones's legs, his inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back, and even his shoulders. Lil Rod even backed it up with a photo showing Cuba acting way too familiar. And yeah, the vibe was definitely off. It was giving big red flag energy. And you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. And in this case, they were flocking tight.
Cuba Gooding Jr. was so close to that man. I would thought that was his lady. That's how close he was to him. And then his hands all on his leg and everything. It was crazy, bro. When you see Cuba Gooding fighting a case here in New York, when he said the girl was saying that he was groping her and everything like that, I'm glad they didn't show that picture.
And here's the thing. Even before this whole Diddy drama blew up, Cuba already had a messy trail behind him. Way back in 2014, after being married for 20 years, his wife Sarah filed for legal separation. She didn't publicly air out everything, but the streets were talking. And the word was, Cuba's cheating finally pushed her over the edge. And once she was out of the picture, Cuba just spiraled. One woman after another started coming forward, accusing him of all kinds of shady, inappropriate behavior. At this point, over 30 women have spoken out, and that's just the ones brave enough to tell their stories. Who even knows how many more are staying silent? Honestly, it's giving Diddy 2.0 vibes at this point, and that's saying something. One of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s alleged victims didn't hold back. She said that around midnight on March 1st, Cuba walked into the bar where they were hanging out, and right away he started harassing a bunch of women. She explained that while women were trying to take pictures with him, he would grab their butt cheeks. And when they reacted badly, he'd either try to grab their chests or would start telling them he loved them, like it was supposed to make it better. And there's even a video out there showing him touching a woman without her consent at a bar. It's bad.
6:33 right now. New video from TMZ appears to show actor Cuba Gooding Jr. touching a server at Tao nightclub in Manhattan. The server claims he pinched her, says she told Gooding not to touch her. She says he replied by saying, quote, "Oh, that's no fun," and insisted that he then touched her back. This is the second of 3 similar incidents involving the Oscar-nominated actor. More problems for Cuba Gooding.
But it doesn't stop there. Another woman also came forward and claimed that Cuba allegedly essayed her back in 2013. According to her, they met at a hotel in Soho, and at first, everything seemed chill. They were just having a few drinks, until Cuba allegedly said he needed to change clothes and invited her up to his room. That's where she says he attacked her. Fast forward to 2019, Cuba actually got arrested over all of this. And if you remember, that video of him being taken into custody was everywhere online.
Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. has settled accusations that he raped a woman in a New York City hotel a decade ago. The settlement comes as the civil trial was supposed to start today with jury selection. The woman says Gooding lured her into a hotel room by saying he had to change his clothes and then attacked her. Gooding maintained through his lawyers that it was consensual. sex. Attorney Gloria Allred, one of several attorneys representing the woman, declined to comment.
Some type of movement. There is income.
Cuba, what do you say to your fan?
It was a whole scene, but getting arrested wasn't the end of his troubles. Cuba also settled another criminal case in Manhattan without even going to trial. He pleaded guilty to a single charge of harassment, this time after a woman accused him of kissing her without her consent. And then there was another case where a woman accused him of battery, SA, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. That one ended up with a judge ordering Cuba to cough up $80,000 in damages to the victim, Natasha Ashworth. In early 2022, he made another move to dodge prison, striking a plea deal and pleading guilty to a lesser charge for the Soho SA case. Now, in the middle of all this chaos, Cuba's lawyer tried to defend him, saying Cuba was just very outgoing, friendly, and jovial. The lawyer claimed that sometimes he's a little frisky, but he's not inappropriate, and insisted that Cuba respects women, even bragging about knowing him for over 30 years without seeing any criminal behavior. But honestly, with everything piling up, it's kind of hard to just brush it all off like that. And according to Terrence Howard, there's even more to it. Terrence claims Cuba wasn't just getting freaky at Diddy's parties, he was also allegedly caught up in some of Diddy's other shady activities. And when you stack that next to all these accusations against Cuba, it sadly makes way too much sense.
What do you think is going on with all the stuff with Diddy, with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about?
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on the stage show, Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me, pull me into this. I think I can't imagine that he's stupid enough to do whatever he's doing and keep it on his premises. I think that the raid and all of that stuff, only time will tell. And by the way, I don't know P. Diddy's life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what the police are going to find on all of that.
Were you guys close? Were you guys friends or?
We were acquaintances, just like I just showed you. Yeah. 2-3 times I've seen him, so it's...
Oh, so Diddy, you've only seen him 2 or 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So why would they include you all of a sudden in some way?
I think because of the darkness of the other grab of the cases that I already had went through.
Right. Fully escaped it though, like your name, for example, was mentioned in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because you barely know
This is
him,
the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being a celebrity. Welcome to my world.
But guess what? Cuba's not the only name Terrence dropped. Another huge name he mentioned? Naomi Campbell. And honestly, Naomi's involvement is somehow even less surprising than Cuba's. Calling Naomi Campbell controversial might just be the biggest understatement of the year. And trust me, we're not even going to get into her messy charity theft drama from last year, because that's a whole separate saga waiting to be unpacked.
Tony Yayo is a regular on my show, and that's Diddy's right-hand man. And he's always said that whenever they would have meetings with Diddy, he'd be like, listen, I don't like him, but I'll hear what he has to say. And I remember on Drink Champs, he had this one instance where he talked about where he was, I guess, talking to Diddy, and Diddy offered to take him shopping. And he was like, what, like I'm a girl? Like I'm a hot girl that you take shopping? Like, that's ridiculous. So, I think that Diddy always, rubbed 50 Cent the wrong way, and 50 always had a disdain of him. And now that this is happening, Diddy's just joining into 50 is actually joining into the circus. And he's coming out with his own documentary. It's going to be on Netflix. I'm sure that's going to be epic.
Jason, you know this world very well.
There's a lot of conflation. There's a lot of conflation happening though, because what 50 has been critical about is that what he said is that Diddy was gay. All the trolling on Breakfast Club and everywhere around media social media has been about Diddy's sex. I haven't heard him say Diddy slept with a little kid. I haven't heard him say Diddy drugged people. I mean, I haven't, but if somebody else has, let me know. I think that there's just been so many different misinterpretations or connections of things that are just muddying the water, right? Diddy parties and Diddy After Dark, 2 different things. So a lot of celebrities that are afraid to be tied to Diddy After Dark are not coming forward saying like, hey, yeah, we've been to a Diddy party. I've been to a Diddy party. So I think, trying to make sense of all of it, has been mind-boggling because there are so many things being connected to things that are not a thing.
And from what you're hearing, Jason, do you think there's a lot more dominoes to fall here?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll put a name out there that really close to Puffy, which has been ironically very silent, and I mean silent, is Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is somebody that is connected to people all over the world, rich, powerful people, and her name, has been coming up a lot recently, and she's been very silent on Diddy, the relationship, wishing any well wishes to the kids.
Now let's get into the real reason Naomi Campbell's name is making headlines again. Apparently Naomi was a regular at Diddy's infamous parties, and honestly, no one's surprised. With her history, this just feels like another messy chapter in the Naomi Campbell saga. She's been linked to a lot of shady men over the years, so seeing her name pop up again? Yeah, it's pretty on brand.
You know that people call you a woman who worked as your assistant. She said you grabbed her by the throat to hit her with a phone.
Assaulting a photographer. Naomi scratched the Pap's eye with her purse.
For kicking and spitting at police officers on a British Airways plane.
Naomi had to dig a little bit deeper to find out what was actually causing the anger.
Are you just a petulant diva who wants things her own way, and if you don't get things your own way, you feel you have the right to throw things?
No. I think it comes from a deeper place than that with me.
Being abandoned.
Being abandoned. That's what my core issues are: abandonment and rejection.
I do feel that I abandoned her. I was 19 when I had Naomi.
And if y'all remember, Naomi's messy associations didn't start with Diddy. Way back, she got exposed for her sketchy connection to Liberian dictator and convicted war criminal Charles Taylor. That whole situation was crazy. In 2010, Naomi had to testify at Taylor's war crimes trial because he allegedly gifted her some blood diamonds. At first, Naomi tried to downplay it, saying a couple of random guys showed up at her hotel in the middle of the night and handed her some dirty-looking stones. She assumed they were from Taylor, but the way she kept switching up her story? Yeah, it was clear she wasn't telling the whole truth. The lies were lying, and everybody could see it. At one point, Naomi even flat out denied getting anything, snapping, "You received a diamond from Charles. Receive a diamond? I'm not going to speak about that, thank you very much."
Supermodel Naomi Campbell about a mysterious gift of diamonds. She denied the allegations. But today on the witness stand at the war crimes trial of former Liberian dictator Charles Taylor, Campbell told a very different story. Now she says the dictator's henchman paid her a late-night visit, delivering a pouch of uncut, unpolished, precious stones. But were those stones so-called blood diamonds, the secret currency with which Taylor funded his reign of terror? Brian Ross investigates.
I solemnly swear on the Bible.
I solemnly swear on the Bible.
On the stand at the war crimes trial in The Hague today, supermodel Naomi Campbell appeared to be put out to be called as a witness.
This is a big inconvenience for me.
Meanwhile, Taylor got hit with a 50-year prison sentence for war crimes, and somehow Naomi just walked away like nothing happened. But let's be real, Charles Taylor wasn't the only shady guy Naomi's been linked to. She also had a cozy little friendship with Harvey Weinstein, and honestly, we don't even need a reminder about how nasty he turned out to be. Harvey was the literal definition of a predator, and it gets even darker. Naomi's name also popped up in connection with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Court documents from Ghislaine's trial revealed that Naomi allegedly took several trips on Epstein's private jet to that island. Yeah, the island where all kinds of horrific stuff reportedly went down. So when people say Naomi always seems to be hanging around mess, they're not lying. And just like clockwork, as soon as Epstein got arrested, Naomi flipped the script. Suddenly, she barely knew the man. She claimed she was only introduced to Epstein through her boyfriend at the time, and that she just spotted him sitting front row at Victoria's Secret shows like everybody else. Naomi swore up and down that she never saw anything shady or knew what he was really about. But given all of that, are we really shocked her name is popping up in Diddy's case too? Not even a little. Naomi and Diddy have been tight for years, and there's even been rumors floating around that they were more than just friends, possibly dating back in the early 2000s. So her being caught up in this mess? Very much on brand. And just like she's done before, Naomi pulled the same move once Diddy started getting exposed. Out of nowhere, she started scrubbing her Instagram, deleting all the photos of her and Diddy, like we didn't see them hanging out for years. Girl, please, we remember. And it goes deeper. Naomi wasn't just close to Diddy during random events, she was around him during the Cassie era too. There are even reports saying Naomi allegedly witnessed Diddy mistreat Cassie multiple times and just looked the other way, acting like it was no big deal. But trust me, it gets even darker. Terrence is now claiming that Naomi wasn't just showing up at the freak-offs, she was allegedly participating in them by pimping out young girls to Diddy.
That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Wild, right? And as crazy as that sounds, it's sadly not the first time Naomi's name has been tied to something shady like this. Remember British actress Katie Ann Noble? She once called out both Oprah and Naomi, accusing them of helping Harvey Weinstein lure her into one of his twisted setups, which eventually led to her being SA'd. At this point, it's not just messy, it's disturbing.
And he was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell. He had Oprah Winfrey there with him, who entered the room and was swinging off his arm and just seemed like a very dear friend. And these, like Oprah, Naomi, Rita, and Georgina, they all sat at his table. And for me, meeting Oprah was like, oh my God,
One witness even said that Diddy was hanging out with some very big names at these events. According to them, he was with people in which I admired dearly. He was with Naomi Campbell. He had Oprah Winfrey there with him, swinging off his arm and just seeming like a very dear friend. So yeah, Naomi being at the freak-offs, definitely not surprising anymore. But the next name that Terrence dropped, now this one had everyone shook, because it's none other than Mary J. Blige. Considering how deep Mary's history with Diddy goes, maybe it shouldn't be that shocking to hear she was allegedly right there with him during the freak-offs.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah. Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I'm playing the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach. And you threaten to punch them in the mouth. Or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room.
Now, if you thought Diddy and Jay-Z were close, just wait till you hear about him and Mary. These two go way back, all the way to the early 90s, when they worked together on her debut album, What's the 411. Their bond was so strong and stayed solid for years. So seeing her name tied up in this mess, honestly, it kinda tracks. They've been close for more than 30 years, and Diddy has always gushed about her publicly. He once said that Mary J. Blige is one of the greatest storytellers in R&B history. She created a lane for women around the world to speak their truth to power. Nobody deserves success more than her. More than being my sister and my best friend, she will forever be a pioneer and the queen of hip-hop soul who remains an unstoppable force that can accomplish anything she sets her mind to. But even the strongest bonds hit rough patches. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Diddy and Mary's friendship hit a major bump. Their fallout turned into a full-on feud that dragged on for years. For a long time, it looked like they might never patch things up. Eventually, though, Mary owned up to her part in the drama. She admitted that back then she was struggling a lot. She said, "The reason we split up is me not understanding the business the way I needed to understand it at the time." She explained further, "He had a label, he had a female artist, he had Biggie, but during that time I was really dogging myself. I was a mess on narcotics. Any smart man or businessman would have moved away from me. It felt like he was becoming distant, but looking back, I now understand why. I wasn't delivering properly. I wasn't taking care of my health, so how can he roll his dice on me?" In the end, they eventually made peace. But now, with everything coming out about Diddy, it's bringing back a lot of old conversations people thought were buried. Eventually, Diddy and Mary J. Blige did patch things up. They put the drama behind them and were cool again, at least for a while. But when the feds showed up at Diddy's door, Mary made it very clear she was done. No loyalty, no second chances. She let everyone know that she had burned that bridge a long time ago, and she wasn't about to rebuild it. She didn't even waste time being subtle. Mary posted a cryptic message on Instagram that had everybody talking. She said, "Unfortunately, a lot of you all met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. Let me reintroduce myself. I burn bridges as needed." That post shook a lot of people, but if you knew the backstory, it honestly wasn't that surprising. Diddy was facing RICO charges, and let's be real, those charges are no joke. Add to that all the disturbing stories about what Mary allegedly went through during her time with him, and her cutting ties made perfect sense. There were reports that Diddy had been harsh towards her, even physically hurting her. And it gets worse. There were claims that he allegedly pressured Mary into using a strap-on for his pleasure, even though she was extremely uncomfortable and broke down in tears afterward. And if that wasn't heavy enough, there were also allegations that Diddy got Mary pregnant, but pushed her to terminate the pregnancy because he didn't want a child with her. That experience reportedly hit Mary hard. It's said to be one of the reasons she decided not to have kids at all. She kind of hinted at that in an interview, saying, "I have nieces and nephews forever, and I'm always watching how people are scrambling for babysitters. I don't want to go through that. I like my freedom to go and move and do what I want to do. I don't want to have to tend to someone all the time. Right now, that's where I'm at, but I don't think having kids is going to happen." But hold up, that's not even the full story. Turns out Mary stayed tight with Diddy even after all that. So, what made her suddenly flip the script? Well, according to Terrence, it's because Mary allegedly got herself caught up in some shady situations at Diddy's parties, specifically involving younger guys, even though she was an adult at the time. And the wildest part? Mary's wild side might have been hiding in plain sight for years. See, for those who didn't know, Mary had a pretty controversial relationship with singer Danny Boy back in the day. Danny recently spilled some serious tea during an interview, saying their first intimate encounter happened in 1995, right after the Source Awards.
First time you met Mary J. Blige and Puff Daddy baby mama Misa, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I met after the award show, we went up to the room. I forgot what hotel that it was. But Suge would always have the biggest room in the damn building, the presidential suite. And I was in the room and Suge called me. He said, "Come upstairs for a minute." And my godbrother was there with me. He said, "Come up by yourself."
According to him, they were at a party with a few people, including Diddy's baby mama, Misa Hilton. After having a few drinks, Danny went back to his room to chill, but then somebody called him back saying a woman wanted to meet him. And when he walked back in, well, things got real interesting. When Danny Boy walked back into that room, it was just Mary J. Blige and Misa Hilton chilling on the couch. He said Mary called him back upstairs, acting like she just wanted to see him. At first, they were just chatting, ordering food, having some drinks, but Danny said he could barely keep his cool because, hello, it's Mary J. Blige.
Outside of Chicago, and who doesn't look up to Mary J. Blige as like, you know, one of the queens, you know, of that time. She's the queen of R&B at that time, at least in the hood. And we up there chilling and drinking. And I think after I left for a little while, we was talking. I think I left out, and Suge called me back up to the room. He said, "Come back upstairs, man. Old girl wants to see you." What the fuck is old girl? I'm thinking one of the other girls that was at the table. And I get up there to the room. Suge's in his room, and Misa's sitting on the bed with a sheet wrapped around her. You know, and you can kind of see like a nice body, and she got this.
Then things got real flirty real quick. According to Danny, Mary laid her head in his lap, started getting real touchy, and stayed close for hours. Eventually, they moved to another room, and Mary kept backing up against him while they laid down together. Danny said it didn't stop there either. After that night, she started flying him out to New York for secret meetups. He was only 15 or 16 at the time, and he claimed Mary even made him feel like he was her boyfriend, while she was also supposedly involved with Tupac.
Around with Mary J. Blige before Tupac, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
unless he messed with her back before he went to jail.
So when did Tupac come in the picture?
Pac came in the picture a little bit after the Source Awards.
Yeah, I'm talking about like Mary J. Blige. Like, how did
I
that
think
come
that
about?
was like, you know, when Pac came around and got out of jail, everybody wanted Pac.
And yeah, Danny said he was trying to act like he wasn't fazed, but he was definitely feeling the heat. According to Terrence, Mary J. Blige was living it up at Diddy's wild parties. But the moment it looked like the feds were closing in, she separated herself real quick. And just when we thought the tea couldn't get any hotter, Terrence dropped another name, Rick Ross. Yep, Rick Ross. Turns out, a man who used to party with Diddy told police he believed Rick and Diddy were romantically involved. Normally, Rick's name doesn't come up when people talk about Diddy's shady behavior, but the whispers have been there for a while.
Like the slippery soap. Yo, I actually washed the car because I'm supporting my brother. I'm not just buying slippery soap. I'm actually using it myself. So, yo, just stay tuned to see Diddy and Rose wash the car. You never know Diddy got on Carisha roof of the truck. He made it happen. I'm proud of you. Only for slippery soap. That's right. Let's go. For real. I'm proud of my brother, for real. I was saying like how he had the car show, he pulled up on me. He pulled it off. And I got to use his products, and we was like... Puffy just gave me $1 million after I was just taking pictures with this everywhere.
With Ciroc.
For over a year.
Oh,
yeah.
that's pretty
No
dope.
contract, no like that.
Just as a thank you.
Yeah, just on some love. So this true inspiration, me being with my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, we here. We the neighborhood association now. You better believe it, man. Yeah. The board.
Rick's baby mama, Tia Kemp, has been trying to spill that tea for years, but most folks brushed her off since she was always blasting him online. That is until last year when she dropped a bombshell claiming Rick was allegedly getting his cheeks clapped by Diddy right under everybody's noses. At this point, it's like, who didn't sell out to Diddy? Anyway, what do you all think about all these celebrities getting caught up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you love this breakdown, smash that like button, drop your hot take in the comments, and hit subscribe for more brutally honest deep dives into the drama behind the screen.